Alright guys, this might be the most ratchet thing you've ever seen, but I feel terrible and I can't go to school tomorrow, so I'm going to teach you this poem via video. First, be good for the sub. Just behave. That's a good thing to do. Know that I miss you guys and I love you and this sucks and you're just the best. Even if you guys always make me pay for your stinking jeans money. But you know, whatever. Love you guys. So I'm going to read these poems, so it'd be really helpful if you guys just pause really quickly and pull up, maybe split your screen so that you guys can read at the same time as I do. I'll read it to you, we'll have a discussion. Not really, there's no discussion here, it's just a video. But I'll read it to you and I'll talk about what we would discuss in class. And then ideally you can answer the 6 questions. Alright, so we are on the left-hand side of the poem together. I'll give you a second to pause this video and go find the poems. Okay. When I woke up from a 40-year sleep, it was by a song. I could hear the drums in the village. I felt the sweat of ancestors in each palm. The singers were singing the world into place, even as it continued to fall apart. They were making songs and turn hatred into love. So good, right? Alright. And then, so that's like an epigraph. And then here's the poem that you're analyzing right here. It's called Cricket Song. Sorry for all the coughing. So, just one second. One thing that might really help you as well, if you go in quickly and just put in Notability a number 1 by tonight, drop down to the word over, put a number 5, and the word time, put the number 10. So anytime you hear me talk about like what line things are on, then that could really help you, okay? Okay, so you ready? Cricket Song, this is by Joy Harjo. We know that she is Native American. From our PowerPoint, we saw that she's from the Muskogee tribe, and so just remember that background. She's also a singer-songwriter. A lot of her poems have to do with singing or rhythmic things. She says, "Tonight I catch a cricket song, sung by a cricket who wants the attention of another. My thinking slides in the wake of the cricket's sweet longing. It's lit by the full moon as it makes a path of the slick grass of the whitest dark. I doubt the cricket has singing. I doubt the cricket cares his singing is sweet start." Man, there's too many annotations here, sorry. Okay. "I doubt the cricket cares his singing is swinging starlight to the worry that has darkened my mind. It is mating season. They will find their way to each other by sound. Time and how are the mysterious elements of life. I will find my way home to you." And then it's signed by the Muskogee Nation, June 23rd, 2013. Sorry I messed that up so terribly, but we're all human, right? Know that you're great readers, even if you guys stutter or mess up. Okay, so let's talk about some things so that you know what you're doing. Okay, so number 1 just says summarize it. Remember, race method is not to be confused with summaries, okay? So remember, you're going to have a test soon, and one of the questions will ask you, what is race method used for? And so many students are going to answer to write a summary, and that's not correct. It's to answer fully and completely, and it just doesn't really work as well with summaries, okay? So when you do the summary, what goes in the first line? You should be thinking this. Yep. Okay, so author and title. So you want to say Cricket Song. We're going to put that in quotations because it's a poem and not a book. I'll say Cricket Song by Joy Harjo is about, and then we're just going to go straight through, beginning, middle, end, main things that are happening. So you have this cricket, he's singing some song, the speaker is kind of listening to this cricket song. It's a beautiful sounding song. The speaker is thinking about the cricket finding its mate, and then the speaker declares that the speaker will find his or her way home to somebody, and that's kind of how it ends. Yep. And then we're gonna go right in. So after summarizing, you're to look for the symbolism. So we can see in this poem that the cricket probably symbolizes something even bigger. It's signed by the Muskogee Nation, and so there's this searching, this longing. We have the epigraph at the beginning that kind of like hints at what's happening here. So she was talking about turning hatred into love. She was in some 40-year sleep. We don't really know what that is. Maybe she's talking about her own life, like she's in her 40s now, and she was like almost like asleep or dead to the world, or almost, and now she's been awakened or enlightened or something like that. And we see these like Native American kind of values that she has in there, and like just different things like, you know, the drums and the ancestors and things like that. She's like, oh, I'm being awakened now. I'm longing to go back to my people group. It's kind of like how now people are like going green and zero waste when they haven't really ever done that before. Every once in a while they would, but, you know, not as much as now. And people are like, oh, we long to be back in the time, you know, when we didn't have cell phones as much, or, you know, we're more empathetic, we have less racism, we're recycling more, things like that. So that, but like more like cultural, because it's, you know, Native American poetry. So we have that epigraph. Now I'm shifting back over to the right side again where that poem is, and we're going to go more with a little bit of symbolism here. So, sorry. So we talked about the cricket being maybe more than just a cricket. Like, yeah, it's juxtaposed. Juxtaposed means you place alongside for comparison, okay? So she has this idea of, here's the cricket story, and then I'm watching the cricket. Imagine being outside, and you're like thinking really hard one night and what you want and things like that, and you hear cricket, and you imagine what the cricket's doing, thinking, oh my gosh, I'm kind of thinking like that cricket. I feel the same things the cricket wants. They long for something, I long for something too. So then she's like, oh, that I feel a song coming on, or I feel a poem coming on. Let me write about it. So we can imagine that she's doing that. So that cricket becomes, it embodies her. And then we can maybe say that the cricket's song is also symbolizing something. Maybe it's her desires for her culture, or desires for love, or like something like that. Or even like more than just one thing. Maybe it's complex. Maybe it's maybe many things. And even every time she reads it, she intended it to be different things. Okay, so we have that symbolism. Number 3 is asking for figurative language. Hopefully you guys can pick some stuff out. Cricket singing, obviously. What is that? Cool. Hopefully you said personification. But when we explain that, so remember we're doing the race method. So I would do the red. I would say one example of figurative language is, and then my orange, I'm going to say personification. The color green, I'm going to quote something, right? So I would say in line 1, it says, I catch a cricket song. So the cricket having a song would be personification. And I'm going to put that in green. I'm going to quote that. And then I'm in parentheses, I'm going to put line 1. So that's my green. And my blue, I have to explain it though. Like, why? What's the connection here? Why is that important? So I would say something like, maybe like the cricket being personified reinforces that this is her embodying something. So the cricket is actually embodying her. It's further reiterating that this is a symbol of her longing and her desires. Okay? And then I don't want to tell you all of these different things just because I want you guys to pick out some of them. But we would get this more in a discussion in class. We have this imagery of line 5 of the slick grass, of the whitest dark. This beautiful imagery. You can like hear the cricket. You can see the things going around. I love this oxymoron there. The whitest dark. Like, what? That's great. The whitest dark. So it's still dark, you know. It's still things are going on, but she's thinking more about it. The cricket hasn't found its mate yet, but it's still singing. We see these themes kind of like going through her poems, right? Like this, I'm not quite there yet, but it's conflict resolution. I'm getting there. I'm like growing. And I say conflict resolution because the book that this poem's found in is called Conflict Resolution for Holding Beings. Beings, it sounded like I said beans. Isn't that funny? Anyway, so ideally you can hear the alliteration reinforcing this song-like tune or rhythm. I want to mention some of these connotative words. So remember connotation and denotation and diction. We talked about that a little bit ago. Diction itself just means words. A denotation, every word has a denotation and a connotation. A denotation is just its definition. It's like father and dad have the same denotation. They mean like your paternal parents. But then the connotation is different. If you call him your father, you're like very formal or something like that. If you call him dad, it's like very personal. So let's look at the connotation of some of these words, okay? So in line 3, she says sweet, although it's paired with the very next word in line 4, longing. So she's longing, but it's sweet longing. We have that in line 5, we have that oxymoron, the white is dark. It's dark, but it's a white, pure dark. We have this doubt. We have these really pretty words here in line 6 of this alliteration. Singing is swinging starlight. So these really pretty images. Right next to, in the next line, line 7, the worry and darkness. So over and over again, there are this negative stuff's happening. Like, this is real. However, every negatively connotated word, or every word with a negative connotation, right beside it has a hopeful, longing word too. So the speaker is declaring in the end, I will find my way to you. That's in line 11. So overall, we have this positive tone going on. Like yes, she's not quite there yet, but she will get there. We have this theme of perseverance, this theme of commitment, of faithfulness, of we will do this. We are going to find our people. We're going to find love. We're going to find, to get away from that hate and go toward love, as the epigraph is suggesting that this theme is going to be about. Things like that, which is beautiful. Sorry, my alarms keep going off. A few things I also want to mention is, wait for it, alliteration, making it sound more song-like. Any shifts that we see here? Let's talk about these shifts. Do you guys notice any? Talk to your groups. That's what I normally say in class, right? Okay, so I see a shift here where she's like talking about, the crickets, I'm thinking about this, and kind of like almost imaginative of, he's singing a song and he's doing this and doing that, whatever, and then boom, this factual stuff. It's mating season. It's like, okay, where did that come from? But she kind of shifts there from like the imaginative to the like kind of scientific fact. Sorry, I keep moving this. And then we also have the shift of, in line 4, she's talking about longing, and then in line 9, she says, they will find, and then again in line 11, I will find. So we have this longing, we don't really know, we're looking for something, to they will find it, and I will find it. So you have that shift, so there's like 2 in there. So like 1 being the not sure, just longing, and then will find, and then the other shift being the difference from they will find to I will find, which is reiterating the idea that this cricket is a symbol. It's not just some cricket looking for something, but I'm looking for something too. I'm longing for my people. I'm longing for my culture. I'm longing for my love. And again, not the idea that this can only be one meaning possible in this, or this can only have one meaning possible in this poem, but the idea that there could be a complex meaning. It could be many complex meanings, or it could be several simple meanings, and maybe she intended all of them. Okay, also the shift here from this story of the cricket all throughout the poem, and then we hit in line 11, another shift of suddenly she's saying, I will find my way home to you. We never got there anywhere until that kicker's last line. That's like a powerful kind of line. This Muskogee Nation thing here, signed at the end, that kind of also tells us that, maybe this is something beyond her. Maybe it is about a Native American longing for her people and her tribe and things like that, and her culture. Don't think of tribes as like, I don't know, like a location or like something like that, or like a specific group. Think of it like a culture. Like if you're Puerto Rican or you're Mexican and you long for your Mexican culture, it's not like you're longing for necessarily a specific location and a specific person or like group of people, although it's definitely part of it. It's like you're longing for your customs and what is home to you and like things that you value and like stuff like that. I feel like, I don't know, we would probably recognize that a little bit more than maybe a Native American idea, but if that doesn't help, think of something else. Okay, some more juxtapositions. Yeah, I don't really have any other juxtapositions other than, remember, juxtaposition being the comparison of, other than the song being this positive, like, what is she longing for? And then the cricket being kind of who she is and herself doing the longing. Okay, let me see if I have any other notes. Nope, so let me see if I've answered everything. So we talked about summary. We talked about symbolism. We talked about figurative language. We talked about shifts. And then theme, I've touched on it. I wasn't very like, oh, this is the theme. Remember, the theme is anything you can kind of glean from it. We want a topic, but it's not just the topic, okay? Topics are topics, not themes. But we have a topic, and we have the author's opinion on that topic. So remember, topic plus author's opinion equals theme. So if we have a topic like perseverance, or steadfastness, or firmness, or commitment, or something like that. We have that. Well, what does she think about it? Well, she's not bummed out about it when we read this poem. It's not like she's saying, oh, we've gone through the Trail of Tears years ago, and then we never really grew back from that, and we haven't really advanced, and it's never going to happen. No, we have this overarching, very positive tones, this cricket is singing, and it will find its mate. Likewise, I will find mine. I will find my way home to you. And so that tells us that this is a positive longing and a positive perseverance of, we will get through this, and we will find home. And this finding home is not like we're going to let it come to us. It's active. See that I'm using these word choices. I might, like when I'm writing this out, I would cite it, like line 11 is where the term find home is. But I'm getting these words from the text to back up what I'm saying the theme is, okay? I also want to talk about these pathways. So we have the cricket's longing. Sorry, it's hard to read this. Makes a path is in line 4. So it says, longing, it's lit by the full moon as it makes a path. Sorry. And then line 9, they'll find their way. Line 11, my way. So these ideas of pathways and ways all together. That's mentioned 3 different times. If it's mentioned 3 times in such a short poem, it's probably important. So like the journey, she's on the journey. We have no indication at all that she actually found her love, or she found her culture and like that. We have no indication that like she's met it, that she's successful or anything like that. But just the journey, that part of her feeling like I've done, like, I'm committed. I'm declaring I will find this. And I think part of our conflict resolution, part of our, not just like, your friendship conflict resolution, but when you're going through things in life, when you're like, Lord, like, what do I do? If you're a praying person, or if you're like, just going through it and you're like looking at your friend and you're like, how do I get out of this? Like, what's going on? I think the decision is what gets you through. It's I will find my way out of this. I will find love. We're going to, remember the epigraph at the beginning? She said, they are making songs to turn hatred into love. I will take this hatred and I will turn it into love. So she's like making that declaration, and that's very key. And then 6 is reflective. Make some connections. So my personal connections on this, I know this video is long. Sorry, guys. So my personal connections I would probably make would be something like just the idea of going out in nature and seeing things. Like often, like I might look at, I don't know, birds and how they're flying, or like just how some animal is doing something or whatever. And sometimes just kind of sit there and ponder and think, wow, like help me to be like that sometimes. Help me to be free like the birds, or maybe that's where I find a little bit more of a connection, and that's where I find my own conflict resolution. That's how I'm able to get through some terrible things in life or things like that. Particularly for me, when I was in high school in 10th grade, my mom was paralyzed. My stepdad died of a heart attack. And I remember my 11th grade year, I was homeless, and there was one point, most of the time I slept in my car, but right before I had a car, I went outside, and I just remember like going into like the bushes area and sleeping there for the night. It was the first time I actually slept outside as a homeless person in high school, and I'm a little stick girl, like, what do you do? Like, how do you defend yourself kind of thing. And I remember just kind of having that peace and that calm and hearing the crickets around me and just longing, thinking if the plants don't care about where they're clothed, and if the birds don't care about their food for tomorrow, I don't need to care either. I'm going to get through this. And so that was that same kind of connection I had of looking at nature and finding my conflict resolution. If you don't necessarily have that connection, and there's also so many other things you could say about like the whole idea of turning hatred into love, or just declaring that you're, going to do something, or even just the idea of what is this about? Is it about love? Is it about your culture? Have you guys lost any of those things? Do you want those things? Whatever is personal to you, find a line or two and make a connection. I want to read it. I really do. I sincerely love you guys to pieces. You're like my world. If you need anything, please email me, even if it's like gas money or I don't know, lunch money or something like that. I'm really here for you. If you're going through some crap, sorry, I shouldn't have said that, I know. If you're going through some stuff, I went through it. I was in 10th grade when my parents were dying, and it was rough, but my English teacher really got me through it. I had a good friend support group, and now I love what I do, and it's because of you guys. Pray for me because I'm not doing so great. However, that's not enforcing or endorsing prayer, just so you know. I just say these things and don't think about it sometimes, and it's a long video that I'm not redoing. But I love you all, and be good. For real though, be good.